Welcome back, everyone. As you probably guessed from the title of the video as well as the thumbnail, this is the firearm that we are going over today. If you guys are watching this video, then this gun is out. This is a collaboration between the folks over at Beretta USA and Davidson's, and they're doing a time release of this gun, which is the Beretta 92XI Corsa. I do believe Corsa means race in Italian. However, I do not speak Italian, so feel free to correct me down below in the comments. But as you can see, it's a pretty racy looking little gun. They also are releasing another gun along with this that is very similar. It has different grips, different color accents, all of those sorts of things. I don't have one of those to show you though, so I will roll in the photo so you can see it. So if you're interested in that, check that out as well. We'll probably talk about it at the end of the video if I remember. So what the heck is it? Well, it is one of their 92X series, which have been out now for a few years, and this one is geared towards the competitive market or the competition market. That said, one thing I say in a lot of videos around here is that every single gunfight you ever get in or ever will get in is open division. So a lot of the things that work in competition shooting also work in home defense, self-defense, etc. So some of you guys may consider this gun just for an all-around type of handgun. So we will talk about that as well. So some of the things that it has going for it that are a little different than some of the other things Beretta has offered over the year. First off, it has a single action only trigger. Again, they've been out for a little bit, but a lot of folks kind of think they should have always had one, but that is a debate for another day. It also has our Vertex style grip here and the frame, and we have some Tony accessories on there, which we will go over. So I suppose let's just go ahead and do that. It does come with three 22 round standard capacity magazines, which certainly is nice. 3 magazines, better than 2. Just take note, every other manufacturer out there. These are Gar standard M9 pattern magazines with the Tony systems plus 4 base plate on there. Additionally, we do also have the flared magwell from Tony Systems on there as well. It is removable. I know some competition divisions, if you have a magwell, it changes the class of the gun. So if you guys want to remove it, you can. There is just a little screw right there in order to do so. The grips on this are from Lock Grips. That's one of the bigger differences between this and whatever the other gun, I can't think of the name of it, is that's being released at the time. So these are smooth grips, but in my opinion, they look cool. And that's actually why I chose this version over the red version, the red accented version. I think this one looked a little bit cooler. But I also thought it would contrast a little bit better with most shirts. However, I decided to wear a gray shirt when I'm reviewing a gray gun. So bad YouTuber is what it is. So anyway, so these are locked grips on there. And of course, if you wanted to switch these out for your favorite grips, you can do so. These ones are smooth. The red ones that are offered on the other model are a little bit more checkered, have a little bit more grab to them. Speaking of grab, we do have good checkering on the front strap and back strap. If you've ever watched this channel before, you've probably heard me talk about how that is the most important part to get traction on the gun, because the gun essentially is doing that under recoil, and you want to be able to grab onto it as positively as possible. I would say for me personally, I do wish I had a little bit more checkering on the grips over the looks. Like when I'm actually shooting it, I wish I had a little more checkering when I'm posting about it on the gram, which I really don't do, more like Twitter. Then I think this does look a little bit better. Pros and cons for sure. But the grip angle is a little bit more natural for a lot of folks, and the actual circumference will be a little bit more comfortable for more people as well with that Vertex grip angle and frame. So that is how it sits in your hand. You get a nice high purchase with that beaver tail for a Beretta anyway. Obviously, this is a technology that was designed a long time ago, decades ago, and just keeps being improved in my opinion. The safety is ambidextrous, and if I stop talking, you'll probably be able to hear how positive it is. Very positive, clicks on and off. As we stated, a single action gun only. So essentially the hammer there is the skeletonized hammer that you guys see right there. And we're just going to talk about the trigger here. It has their fancy trigger in there. This one, of course, has the gold accents, but it's Beretta's match trigger. And so we're going to pull all the way to the rear, as far as the trigger goes for the pre-travel, I should say. And then we're just going to press through it. Very crisp, very solid. You know what it's going to break. It's got a great wall. It's very well defined. I've shot these guns before, the 92X series. I've not owned one of those. It's the first one I've owned, and I really do appreciate that single action trigger. And there's your reset. Not long at all, and you're back right on that wall. I mean, it's a good trigger. The gun runs with that trigger. It's very, very quick in terms of follow-up shots. As soon as you let off that wall, essentially, lit off for the reset, you're back on the wall, allowing you to press that trigger as fast as you can get your sights aligned, or in this case, the red dot. So one thing that I am going to talk about here that caused an issue throughout the review, not throughout the review, once during the review to be more correct, is this magazine release. So this is an extended magazine release. Anybody who's watched my channel over the years knows that I'm not a huge fan of extended magazine releases, simply because they can accidentally be bumped when you don't want them to be bumped. And we had that exact thing actually happen when we were firing. Essentially, I think anyway, my support hand, that little fat part right there, came up there and hit it, causing the magazine to slightly fall out. So that is one thing that you just have to be conscious of if you have large hands. I would imagine the vast majority of people will not actually contact that due to their hand size, but my hands are a little bit on the larger side, so just kind of keep that in mind. That said, if I was going to use this for like a competition home defense gun, something like that, it's a simple swap. You can put any of the Beretta mag releases in there, so just a standard one is what I would personally do, but again, for 98% of people watching this video, that would never be an issue. Continuing forward, we do have our takedown lever, but on this gun, it doubles as a ledge that you can also get leverage with, which certainly is nice. We have a full video on how to disassemble, clean, and lubricate a Beretta 92 series pistol, so if you're interested in that, check it out. We're not going to do the full disassembly today. Speaking of course, like we already mentioned, it has that Vertec frame on there, so you guys can see it has that flat ledge there up front on the front of the trigger guard, so people who like to shoot using that ledge for leverage, you can do that with this pistol. Some Berettas had it rounded off. This one does not, which certainly is nice. Right now on there, we have the new Streamlight TLR HLX light on there, but it does have 3 Picatinny slots on there, allowing you to use basically any weapon light out there on the market. Any of the major brands, they will all fit on there just fine. That just gives you an idea of how it is going to look and fit with the Streamlight product. Continuing on up to the actual slide, it does have that gray Cerakote finish on there. I should mention as well, this pistol was made in Tennessee. I'm not sure if I mentioned that earlier, but if I didn't, now I did. So it's an American-made gun, which certainly is nice. Doesn't have to worry about like import plates and things like that our government forces upon other firearms that come into the country. So the slide itself has good serrations there up front for running the slide. One thing that's nice about the Beretta action system is that the slide itself just glides very easily, naturally. It's part of the design. Then, of course, we have the serrations back there on the rear. Are there more aggressive serrations on other guns? Yes. Do you need them on this gun? Absolutely not. I mean, they grab and they work as intended. We do have a blacked out rear sight with that square notch. It's serrated as well to be used with our fiber optic front sight. It does come with a couple different pieces of fiber optic inserts should yours fly out, which, as I always say here on the channel, if you're using fiber optic sights, 99.9% of them will fly out eventually. This one, of course, is still in there, but it is nice to have the replacements come with it. I do dig that. Continuing on, we have our barrel system. This one has a huge feed ramp for feeding hollow points and all types of other things and odd-shaped projectiles, and we did feed this gun some hollow points, so let's check that out and see how it went. Got some S&B hollow points, 115 grain. We'll see how she likes that. As y'all just saw, it fed those hollow points just fine. Continuing on to the optics mount, this is Beretta's optic mount system. Essentially, it mounts up to 2 different screws and cutouts that are in the slide itself when you remove those from the factory. It's a very secure system. They offer a number of different plates. This one, of course, is the RMR pattern plate, but they offer plates for all of the major optic system. Some of you guys will view this as a con, some of you will view it as a pro, but you do not get a co-witness with your iron sights. I know a lot of competition shooters prefer that. I personally don't, but I'm not, you know, like an elite competition shooter or anything like that. I view guns sort of as tools to, you know, defend myself. So for me personally, I would rather have a co-witness, but again, I realize that a lot of you guys, particularly folks who are watching a review on this particular firearm, will not want that, so you will see that as a pro. But we mounted, of course, the RMR up there, and this one's been through a lot. It's still going strong, as you would expect from an RMR. Continuing on, of course, the barrel is cold hammer forged, chrome lined. It is threaded. So that is something that differentiates this from a lot of the other newer comped racy kind of guns out there. Some of them are using a system, a locking system essentially, to avoid states that ban threaded barrels. This one does not do that. As you can see from the photos we're rolling in there, it does have the standard 1/2x28 threads, and then it has an O-ring as well to help secure this in place. One thing that's interesting about it is when you actually twist this on, you can't have the recoil guide rod in there, because the recoil guide rod acts as a mechanism rather to orient the comp in the same direction every time. So if it's just a touch off, 1 or 2 degrees off, you won't be able to actually get the slide back on the gun. So that is a good thing in my opinion. It definitely keeps everything centered up as it should be. But we have the compensated side there that's going to eject gas out the top. And then we have a little brake as well that's happening on there, venting gases out the side there. So very effective system. As you guys saw, this gun shoots extremely flat. This gun unloaded, I should mention that as well, comes in at 36 ounces. So before we talk about the important stuff, the price and reliability, all those sorts of things, we do need to thank the main channel sponsor, and that of course is Brownells. They probably, I would imagine anyway, if you guys are watching this, probably have this kind of in stock, but they also have all the other things that you guys have seen, extra magazines, weapon lights, gunsmithing supplies, ammunition, all of those things are over there at Brownells with very competitive pricing and just really good people. Talk to anybody who knows the staff over at Brownells, the employees, the ownership, just really good things to say. It makes it very easy to accept their sponsorship here on the channel, so we thank them for that. Now, the important stuff, reliability. So right now, again, this is kind of a relatively new gun. We have just under 600 rounds through this gun. We had 2 issues, I guess you could say. One of them was me induced by hitting that magazine release like we already talked about. The other one, I'm not sure what it was. If I had to guess though, I would guess it's a combination of the ammunition we were using as well as the compensator. So we were using at the time 115 grain Minuteman ammunition, full metal jacket. They are our main 9mm sponsor here on the channel. So that's what we use a lot of around here, 124 and 115 grain. We shoot thousands of rounds of that. So big thank you to them for supporting what we do here on the channel. And with that 115 grain, if I had to guess, what ended up happening is the slide just didn't reciprocate with enough mass due to the compensator on there. Failure to feed. That is one thing you have to consider with compensators. Compensators, what they do is redirect energy. In a traditional sense, all of the energy that isn't being released other places, I guess we'd say, would be used to reciprocate that slide back, and then the spring would push it forward. With a compensator, you are changing the amount of force that is being used to reciprocate that slide. Now, that's one of the benefits of keeping your gun nice and flat. One of the risks is that a compensated gun is, generally speaking, everything else being equal, which it never is, going to be more ammo picky. But again, we only had one malfunction, that failure to feed, which again was likely just low slide velocity. In my opinion, you could do a couple things to fix that. You could use a heavier grain ammo, like if I was using 124 grain, for example, or 147 grain, probably wouldn't have happened. Or you can change the spring weight on there. And one thing that's nice about the Beretta system is it's super easy to change the spring weight. Like you literally just pull it off and put a new one on. So if you wanted to do that and you wanted to shoot lighter loads, those types of things for competition, you can do so. So that has been reliability. Now, anybody who knows anything about the Beretta systems knows the 92 series especially. They have been through an insane amount of testing. It is a very, very reliable system. One thing I really like about it that we haven't talked about, but you'll probably see on my social media, if you guys are following me across my social media, any of the non-meta ones, you'll probably see this video in the next week or two, is I want to shoot this gun suppressed, because one thing that's really nice about the Beretta system is due to the way that the barrel, it doesn't use a Browning system like most semi-automatics. So as you can see there, the barrel there stays right in line as it goes back. It makes Beretta 92 series pistols, in my opinion, some of the best suppressor hosts on the market. Again, this one here is threaded 1/2x28, so I do want to run this gun suppressed, and I have a feeling it's going to be extremely fun and extremely reliable. Again, that is not the intended market for it. It is intended, in terms of their marketing literature and all of that sort of stuff, as a race gun. It does that very well, as you guys have probably seen so far throughout the video, but I want to throw a can on there and see what will happen, so definitely check out all my social media if you guys are interested in that. Lastly, something I know you guys are interested in, which you should be with a race gun, because race guns typically aren't cheap. This is no exception. This gun right here, the MSRP, so of course street price will be different. The MSRP is $1,499. The version that has the red accents that I can't think of the name of, that one is MSRP to $100 less. So I think pros and cons to that. There are guns that are way, way, way more expensive that are going to compete with this, both on the competition circuit and in the market. And I think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to want this gun. I looked at it, and a lot of companies offer me a chance to review stuff. Typically, it's either going to be something I'm interested in or I know my audience is interested in. In this case, I was like, I am interested in that. Let me get that. So I did. So Beretta did send it out for the review, just full disclosure. That's how we're able to bring it to you before the actual pistol has been announced. But yeah, that's the price point. That's reliability. It seems like an exceptionally made firearm when you handle it. Everything is fit exactly as you would expect for a gun of that price point with the Beretta name on it. So I don't know, you guys know pretty much everything about it at this point that I do. So if you have any questions, you can also always rather post those down below in the comment section. You can also post them at my social media pages that we just talked about. That generally speaking is the best way. I tend to see more of those than I do on YouTube due to whatever hidden words and other nonsense YouTube has today. Additionally, if you guys like this video and you haven't subscribed yet, definitely hit that subscribe button. If you've done that and you're not seeing 2 to 4 videos a week here on the channel, make sure you hit that notification bell, because I religiously put up 2 to 4 videos a week. If you've done both of those and you're still not seeing those videos, make sure you sign up for my email list. You can sign up for this one. This is just, this email rather goes out once a month, has all the videos since the previous month's email went out. So that way there's no big tech giant censoring your eyes from my content. Additionally, we have a daily deals email. You can sign up for that as well. As the name indicates, it's the daily deals email. It goes out every day. It has 8 of the best deals that we find around the internet. All the different things you've seen here, optics, guns, accessories, magazines, all of that stuff. If it is on sale and it is the best deal on the internet for a given item, rather on that particular day, it will be in that email. We also have a funny meme in there that a lot of you guys like. It has a virtually 0 unsubscribe rate, as I always say, because it's true, which just shows that we are providing value to the folks who do sign up. Additionally, I know we have a lot of people out here who don't check their email unless it's like work and they're being paid to do so. So if that's the case and you guys just are on your phone all day long, you can sign up for the SMS service that we offer at the website here on your screen. It goes out once a day, just the SMS with the best deal or the latest video straight from me into your inbox on your cell phone. So that pretty much is it. I think we covered everything. Thank you all for watching. I truly appreciate it. I look forward to seeing everybody in the next video.